Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Amara's kitchen. If this is your first time on my channel, you are very much welcome to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you all for tuning in. So guys, I'll be showing you how to make this delicious egusi soup. I have a couple of egusi soup recipe on my channel, but yeah, I just feel like sharing this delicious recipe for you guys. So let's get started. First of all, I have a skillet pot and I go ahead and wash my cow meat and chicken. So I'm using hard chicken. So after adding up all the meats, I go ahead and add some onions, and I'm adding 2 cloves of garlic, and I'll be adding 1 large Scotch bonnet pepper, and I will go ahead and add some pieces of ginger, and the next I'll add a little bit of salt, just sprinkle in some salt to that, and I will also add about half a tablespoon of chicken bouillon flavor, or chicken flavor bouillon, whichever way you choose to put those words together. So the meat seems to be pretty dry, so I'm adding about 4 to 5 tablespoons of water just to help the meat out. So it's not that much, just it's less than half a cup total. So I turn my stove on and I let it cook for about 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes of boiling, so the meat has produced a whole lot of water to that, as you can see. So there wasn't any water, it was just like less than half a cup of water that I added. So I'll go ahead and top that up right now. So I added about 2 to 3 cups of water. So as you can see, some of the garlic is still there. So I'll cover this pot up again for about 8 minutes because I'm using a hard chicken, so it needs a little time to cook. So after 8 minutes, the meat is kind of properly cooked right now. So I kind of tasted it and it tastes so amazing that it was so great. The taste was perfect. The taste of the ginger and the garlic kind of make the taste to the next level. Excuse me guys. So the next thing that I have to do, I will go ahead and get all the meat out and put them in my oven to dry them for about 20 to 30 minutes. So once I have all the chicken and the cow meat out, laid out on the rack, so I'll go ahead and put it in my oven. So the next step is my stockfish. So the stockfish, I soaked it up in the water for a couple of hours, so it's kind of halfway soft. So I do this whenever I'm cooking. I soak the stockfish to cut off the cooking time. So I went ahead and add that and add my mackerel. I covered that up and let it cook for about 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, I'm back. So guys, I'm doing this way because the cooking time for all of this meat or fish are not the same. So like I told you guys, the stockfish that I'm using, I soaked it up in the water for a couple of hours, let me say about 3 to 4 hours before my cooking time. And the fish itself, doesn't take long to cook, and so that's why I'm not adding everything together. The hard chicken takes longer time, and the cow meat that I'm using as well takes a little longer time, so that's why I'm not putting everything. But if you are cooking and you have known the stuff you're using to cook that they don't take long, you can put everything in together, that's just fine. So but I choose to cook them separately. So the last thing that I'll be adding is my kanda, which is also known as the cow skin. So this cow skin, also known as pomo, kanda or more cow skin, whichever way you want to, the words you feel like using, that's fine. So I've used this cow skin couple of times, and each time I use it, it gets pretty soft in no time. So for that reason, I always add them close to the last minute of my cooking so that it doesn't get so saggy. You don't want to have a saggy cow skin. No, that would be so bad. So at this point, all the flavors are in this stock, and it was tasting so amazing, guys. So I had the first taste. I'm like, oh, that's so amazing. So I had another one. So I feel like using this right now to like for pepper soup. So guys, that's it. So I'll go ahead and set that aside and just give the meat that I have in the oven a little bit to, get brown or dry up a little bit. So my stockfish and kanda is ready, and my mackerel fish is ready. So I'm just gonna give the meat a little time. So after a couple of minutes, the meat is ready. I have them right there in the pot. So I'll pour them there and set them aside until I'm ready. So right now, go ahead and proceed with the rest of the ingredients for the soup. Here I have the sweet pepper, and there's about 5 pieces of it inside. So I'll be using just one. So I'll go ahead and wash and clean them up. So I added some sweet pepper and another different kind of sweet pepper as well. So here I also have the Scotch bonnet pepper, ginger and garlic that I use to steam up the meat stock. So I'll go ahead and blend everything together. So I did not add any water while blending them. So once everything is properly blended properly where I want it, you can just chop them up depending on what you want. So I'll set them aside. Here is my melon seed, which is the egusi seed. So I'll just add about half a cup of water to dissolve them. So but I'm not gonna make it watery. It depends, like it really depends on how you want it. So I just added a little bit of water to soften it up, but it's still kind of solid. So in the same pot that I use for the meat, I'll go ahead and add my vegetable oil. Add my palm oil. So like I don't want the oil to fry. We're not going to fry the oil at all. Once the oil has dissolved properly, I added my onions. Because when you leave the oil longer, it's like you're bleaching the oil. So you don't want to bleach your oil at all for this soup. So the next step, I'll go ahead and add the peppers that I blended up, the pepper and onions. I don't know if you guys saw the onions. There was onions in the plate that I was using that I added the peppers in it. There was half of large onions that was in that place as well. So I let it cook for like 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, I came back. So because you have to cook the pepper so that the fresh taste has to go away before you continue your cooking. So the next, I have to like scoop in the melon seed little by little. And after adding that, I'm not gonna turn it. I'm not gonna stir up anything. I'll just go ahead and just cover the pot, because I want the egusi to have a little bit of lumps in it. So that's why I'm not stirring it right away. So after letting it cook for like 2 to 3 minutes, then I came back and then gradually stirred it up a little bit. As you can see, it seems like I'm just flipping them over. So I'm not like smooshing everything. I just flip them over and then cover them up again for another 1 minute or 2 to cook on the other side. So now I'm adding my crayfish. So I have like about 1 cup of crayfish, so I added half. Then I add half of my stock, my meat stock. Then just cover that up and let it simmer for like 5 minutes, because you want the egusi to be properly cooked. You don't want to eat raw egusi, that is raw melon seed. So the next step, I have the local seasoning called egusi. So those of you that are from Nigeria, you might probably know this ingredient. So I'll go ahead and just grate that in and stir up properly. So this local seasoning gives the soup a very nice taste that you really love if you try that. If you have that available wherever you are in your location, you will love, the So I'll go ahead and return all the meat, the stock fish. So I don't like to add the what is it called? The head of the mackerel. So I just took that out just to eat at my own time. So I'm adding a couple of about few water into that, just to loosen the soup up a little bit because it seems to be a little too thick. So I return the remaining part of the meat. So at this point, I'll go ahead and add the remaining meat stock. So I will turn everything on. Once they are well combined, I'll be adding just 1 non-cube. So you can add any stock cube of your choice. You can add star, non, chicken, whatever, any kind of stock cube of your choice. You can go ahead and add that at this point. Then it's time to give the soup a taste if we need any salt at all. So I thought I needed a little bit of salt, so I added just a little bit. So when you're cooking, of course, before you add salt to your food, you have to give it a taste to know if you require any salt or not. You don't just add salt to your soup without tasting it. So I'll go ahead and cover this up and let it cook, so everything will combine together. So after 2 to 3 minutes of boiling, the soup seems to be close to being ready, almost ready. One more thing to add and we'll be all ready to go. So this is the last crayfish that I left. So I'll go ahead and add the remaining of it. And I'm splashing all over. So once everything is well combined together, it's time to add my vegetable. So I'm using frozen spinach. But I had it out for like a couple of minutes ago, about 30 minutes ago. So I make sure that I spray everything out because I don't want it to get stuck in one part. So I tried to spread it out as much as I could. Now I'll go ahead and stir everything up together. So this is what it's looking like. Like I told you guys, it's frozen vegetable. So I'll go ahead and cover this up and let it simmer for just 1 minute, nothing more than that, because it's frozen vegetable. If it wasn't frozen, I will just get it off from the stove right away. So at this point, the soup is ready. After 1 minute, I came back and the soup is ready to go. Looking so delicious, right? Yes, and it tastes so delicious, guys. So I'll go ahead and turn the stove off at this point and also give it another last taste to see if I still need any more stuff. So my soup was perfect. I couldn't get over the soup. Yeah, so the soup tastes amazing. It's ready. Turn my stove off, and that's it. And this is what it looks like, guys. So thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and click on the subscription button and turn the notification bell on. And I will see you all on my next video. Thanks for watching and Merry Christmas in advance. Bye.